Today, the 25th of April, is ANZAC Day. What is ANZAC Day, you ask? ANZAC stands for the Australia and New Zealand Army Corps. The Australian and New Zealand Army Corps entered the First World War at the Gallipoli campaign. And today is the day that Australians and New Zealanders commemorate and celebrate the contribution of their soldiers to World War I, particularly in the Gallipoli campaign. What's that got to do with us? Well, as you can see from the banner behind me, Tchelet is about inspiring Judaism, and I want to share with you an inspiring story which is connected to ANZAC. In 1915, there was a man called Rabbi David Yitzchak Friedman, who was the rabbi of Perth Hebrew congregation. He went to the First World War as a soldier, as part of the army. And on the way to Gallipoli, he stopped in Alexandria in Egypt. And the Jewish community in Alexandria gave him a Sefer Torah, a very special Sefer Torah, which he took with him and kept with him at all times. And it went through the Gallipoli campaign. And then after Gallipoli, he took it through to the Western Front. He was a hero. He was mentioned in dispatches. This Sefer Torah was with him all times, even went through the Western Front, as of course I'm sure you know, including the Battle of the Somme, where over 1 million soldiers lost their lives. This Sefer Torah went with him at all times. And eventually, after the war, it came back. Rabbi Friedman himself passed away in 1935. And after the Sefer Torah was in the Western Australia Museum. And for some reason, it got lost. And around about the 1950s, this Sefer Torah went missing from the Western Australia Museum. They couldn't find it. Eventually, it was refound in 2003. And we now have it again. I'd like to show with you a couple of photographs now. Here is a photograph of Rabbi Friedman himself. This photograph is actually taken in Gallipoli. You can see the Sefer Torah here. Rabbi Friedman is doing Hagbah with it. There's the British flag. These are the soldiers in the First World War. That is a picture of the ANZAC Sefer Torah. And that's Rabbi Friedman. It now belongs and resides in a very special place. It resides in the newly refurbished Beit Knesset of Perth Hebrew congregation, and I'm going to show you where it lives now, where this special Sefer Torah lives now. There is the newly refurbished Aron HaKodesh, and there in the middle, pride of place, is the ANZAC Sefer Torah. Now on ANZAC Day, there are services and there are celebrations and parades and commemorations, very similar to the way we have in Israel in Yom HaZikaron and in the UK on Armistice Day in November, services at the Cenotaph. And today, the ANZAC Sefer Torah spent its time at this ceremony. And I'd like to show you a photograph of that now. There is the ANZAC Sefer Torah being taken this morning to the ANZAC commemoration parade in Perth. There's my son, who is the current rabbi of Perth Hebrew congregation, one of the successors of Rabbi David Yitzchak Friedman. You can see on his right side of his chest there are his grandfather's medals, my father-in-law's medals, which he proudly wears. And there is the ANZAC Sefer Torah going to back to celebrate and to commemorate what went on in the First World War. That Sefer Torah, incredible history, Alexandria to Gallipoli to the Western Front, and then back with Rabbi David Yitzchak Friedman to Perth Hebrew congregation. That's an inspiring piece of history, and there's an inspiring piece of the future, I hope. That's my grandson, who is hopefully going to appreciate the inspiring story of this Sefer Torah and of Rabbi David Yitzchak Friedman. And we wish all the Australians and the New Zealanders whatever you wish for ANZAC Day. I'm not sure what the blessing is, but we thank them for their contribution to world peace. And for those who gave their lives, not only in this conflict, but in all conflicts, we salute them on ANZAC Day today.